Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, here at Beckley's Camping Center. And today, we're going to talk about the new Furrion oven cooktop combination. They've made a few changes, and I want to go ahead and make sure that you understand what they are, understand how to properly use them, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. On top of that, stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to give you a little LP safety tip. So do stay tuned for that. But now, in the event that you're having issues with yours, listen, I'm here, I'm just an RV sales guy, but I know enough to be dangerous. So I would say if you're having a problem, reach out to your local RV service center, because reaching out to me, that's what I'm telling you. I understand how to use them. When it comes down to how to maintain them, or you're having an issue, that's where I lack the knowledge from that standpoint. So, but let's get on to this new Furrion oven. Okay. Now, these ovens do come in two different sizes. This is the smaller size. Now, I like the way that they put this lid on here, because as you lift up, you've got to put some pressure on it, but it actually lifts up out of the way there, nice and neatly there. But also, when you're putting it down, on either end, it is actually being wedged in there, so it's secure as you're driving down the road. Do not ever pull this thing over like this if you have the flames on. Don't light the flames when it's down. This is not a cook service here. So keep that in mind. Even if it's hot, don't bring it back down. Let things cool down before you actually do that. Now let's start with some of the basic information first. So they have this little switch over here. The first one, so when you light that, or you light that, when you, I'm going to shut off these other lights so maybe you can see it a little better. So you can see how they have the blue lights on the sides. So that's when you put it on number 1 there. Now then, of course, you have off. Now when you have a number 2, of course the blue lights are on as well, but the beauty of this, it acts more like a residential oven, where you can actually see into the oven through the glass. No need to have to open the door to check it. So that is a pretty nice little feature. Now let's show you something that's new. So now let me go over one thing with you first, and that's this sparker right here. This thing is a sparker, and as you can see, it is lighting. It'll light the burners. This knob is supposed to be turned clockwise only. If you turn it counterclockwise, you can break it. So be careful with that. Now, in order to light the burners, you go ahead and select which one you want to turn on, and what you do is you're turn it to the pilot, and then just spin this and let go, and it should stay on. But notice now how that is actually turned red now that you're actually using it. So this is something new that they have, so they're actually red, so that way there you know that they're on. Now let's talk about how easy it is to light this stovetop. And it goes to the same, it's going to work the same way for the oven as well. But what you want to do is, when you're turning on a particular burner, what you're doing is you're going to turn it, push in, turn it to the little flame, and then you just turn this just a couple clicks, and it lights all the burners, just like that. Now, something I recommend you do when you first time you're going to use your camper for your camping trip is always light these 3 burners and then shut them off. And what you've done by doing so is you have bled the LP lines of any possible air up until this point. And for most of you, your water heater and your furnace are going to be forward of your cooktop. For most people, sometimes it's not. Sometimes your refrigerator is even forwarded. But that gives you a better chance of your propane appliance actually lighting the first time. Because with your appliances, you want to try to keep misfires down to a minimum. Now, what's a misfire? It tries to light and it doesn't. Whether you had the LP bottles closed, or maybe you had too much air in the lines, those would be considered misfires. Now, for some reason, you come in here, you turn your bottles on and you lit these or tried to light these burners, and it didn't work. Chances are you just opened your LP bottle maybe a little too quickly. So go on out, disconnect your LP bottles. Well, shut them off first, by the way. Disconnect them. You'll hear a psst. So that'll let the LP going out. Reconnect them, open them slowly. Be sure that you open the first one, whatever that dial is pointing to, that is the bottle that you open up first, so that you know that is one it's drawing from first. So do that. You will be much happier in the long run. Now let me show you how to light this oven. Now, to light the oven, contrary to what people tell you, you do not need one of these to light your oven. Now you could use that if you wanted to, but now the way this thing is set up, and it was set up this before, is you're going to use the same dial that you lit your burners on the top to. So what you want to do is on your oven, let me just show you what you're doing, is you're going to turn this, as you can see, right to the flame. And then you're going to want to push in and hold that while you are trying to light it. And all you do is push in, hold that, couple of clicks, make sure you hold it for a few seconds, make sure that the burner stays on once you let go, and then you're able to turn on the oven. You'll see it automatically lights. Now, if today, let's say you just use it and tomorrow you don't want to have to worry about lighting or whatever, you can turn it back to the pilot and let it sit like that, and you don't have to worry about lighting it ever again. Well, I would, for the next time you want to use it. And then all you're going to do is, you want to use it again, just turn it on. So that's how that works. Now let me explain something else about these ovens that's quite unique. Now when you're using the oven, something that you might want to consider getting is some type of stoneware to put on top of this, not on the shelf. That shelf is adjustable, by the way, but on the bottom of this, or on the top of this metal part here. And what that'll do, by having some type of a square stoneware, like Pampered Chef or something, that will more evenly heat the oven, doing a better job cooking what's inside of your oven. So try that. Let me know what you think. Now keep in mind one thing: do not leave that there while you're prancing on down the road when you're towing this thing, because chances are that's going to fall, it's going to slip out and hit this glass on the door. So keep that in mind. Now, in all RVs, you have an LP leak detector. Sometimes you're an LP leak detector, carbon monoxide detector all in one. But find out where yours is located. Typically, this is going to be in the kitchen somewhere. Now, let's say that in the middle of the night, and I always use the middle of the night as just an example. Let's say that you hear your LP leak detector going off. What I want you to do first, when you get up out of bed, if you smell LP, open a door. Because LP is heavier than air, and that way there it can escape out of the camper. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is come over here and look and see if you left one of these on. Now with this new feature showing you that it's red, you're already going to know it. The old ones didn't have that. But just shut it off and you're going to be good to go. And that's regardless of what kind you have. So if you have the Suburbans or whatever other ones that might be in your trailer, if one of these was on, that's the culprit. Shut it off, air it out, you're going to be good to go. Just mute, then you can mute your LP leak detector and you should be fine. Now, if for some reason you don't see one of these on, do not get your little, as you can see, lighter and go looking for the leak. That will be a problem. What you're going to want to do at that point, you're going to want to go on out, shut off your LP bottles, and you're going to need to have somebody, whether it's yourself or an RV technician or somebody, do a LP leak test for your appliances. Basically, it's going to be simple. In this particular one, you're talking about a refrigerator, you have your cooktop here, oven, water heater, and your furnace. So just a little LP safety for you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, how to properly use your new Furrion oven and cooktop in your camper. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share this video out if you would, please. And I'll be coming back at you again soon. Take care.